Hey everyone, welcome to the Do the Thing podcast. This is your host, Stacey Lauren. Well, this is long time overdue. What in the world took so long for this podcast interview? I have had Mare Brighton in the Do the Thing community now for a year and a half, and she has transformed this community into just like this beautiful space of dream lifters that actually are supporting each other and contributing back and really making Do the Thing just like this powerful force of people that are generously giving of their time, of their being. And oh my gosh, you guys, I cannot wait for you to meet Mare because she's been a dream lifter for the last 20, 30 years and has been doing this work. And when she came to Do the Thing through one of my programs, which was the Wealth Experiment, which was really fun getting to see her play and expand, and now we are actually writing the Do the Thing book with the people that are in the Wealth Experiment, and we're like, oh my gosh, maybe we can actually use this podcast interview as a way to write this book. And Mare is a dream lifter, and Mare knows that my dream is to get this book out into the world. And so we're like, okay, let's do this interview. And I'm so excited to do this with her because, she's been a big part of my life. She's been a big part of Do the Thing life, Do the Things life. This is where all the great ideas get born, is when I'm playing with Mare. And so we're going to get to see what happens in this episode. But I am so excited to welcome Mare to the show.
Hello, my name is Mare. I am a Dreamlifter. What that means is that I help people power up and activate their bucket list items or their living intentions, which I think are living dreams, which means you can change your mind every day. You're not stuck to what you say, and it expands, expands, expands. And I believe people should have 50 dreams going at any one time. And then there's a done list and there's a parking lot list. So it's never over. As long as you have a human experience, I believe you should have a dream list.
I love that. And you've been working with like a lot of people, like even before Do the Thing, you've been doing this work for 30 years. You worked for corporations. Do you want to talk a little bit about that journey?
Sure. I mean, the journey started, I have six sisters, right? And brothers too, but I heard an interview or I read something in a magazine, because remember, this was 30 years ago. So there was no internet. Nobody had a computer at their home or a printer, right? So it was either television or a magazine or newspaper, right? And I heard a story about two girls. Basically, they met in high school and they were talking about their dreams. And the one girl who was telling the story talked about how this new person comes to their school and she wants to go to Europe one day. And she moved to New York from Tennessee. And so I don't remember their names because that was 30 years ago and I didn't know it was going to be so impactful to me. But Tennessee thought New York was amazing. And so she enrolled this new friend and all the other classmates into New York adventures turning into European adventures because her dream was to go to Europe one day. I don't know New York. I know Denver. So I'm pretending that they asked their moms to take them to the Brown Palace, which is a 5-star hotel in Denver, for a high tea experience.
Mm.
But the story they tell their friends when they go back to school is that they had tea with the Queen of England. That's how she connected it to Europe. Another thing that happens in Denver each year is something called the stock show, because at one time, cattle drives would herd the cattle to Denver because that's where the trains were. And then the trains would take the cattle to other places in the United States back in the day, because this is over 100 years old, the stock show. So Tennessee says, hey, New York, get your cowboy boots and your hat on and meet me at the stock show. And so New York shows up with her clipboard, and Tennessee says, we're choosing the bulls that are going to run in the running of the bulls in Spain this year. They're 14. I just make up they choose the best color, or they look into the eye and go, oh, this one's Ferdinand. It cannot run in the running of the bulls in Spain this year, etc. Every school project, every festival, every birthday party, event, etc. Tennessee figures out how it connects to Europe. Now I'm fast forwarding. Tennessee's married. Her husband's company sends him to Paris for a conference, and she's going to fly over at the end of the conference, and they're going to spend a week in Paris together, and she's going to get her first stamp in her passport, Europe. And the plane blows up over the ocean and everyone dies. So she never steps foot on European soil. It wrecked me. I was like, oh my gosh, what's my European dream? I have 6 sisters. I don't know any of their dreams. I don't know my friend's dream. So I thought, I'm a terrible friend. I'm a terrible sister. I'm a terrible daughter. I don't know any of these important people in my life what their dream is. I don't even know mine. So I'm like, all right, what am I good at? I'm good at workshops. So I created a workshop. I invited my mom, my sisters, my friends, and I asked them to bring 10 things they wanted to do in their life. Now, this is 30 years ago, so it's before bucket list was vernacular. Mm-hmm. But what I make up is, as long as humans have been alive, they've had lists in their heads, like if not on paper. I asked them to write down 10 things that they wanted to do in their life or have in their life, but they had to do it handwritten. And I said, I want one for every person who's going to be here. So they hand wrote them, because that's even before there was Kinkos and stuff like that, where people would go and make copies of things, right? And then when they came, I was in college, my roommate and I, we taped them to the back of our apartment door. And then every day before we went to work or school, we would read somebody's 10 things. Well, what begins to happen is that the reticular activation piece of your brain begins to get activated and collect the data and be focused on the data that supports other people's dreams. And then that was my family and friends were like, oh, we want to do more of this. And my intention was to have those dreams and then be able to work on school so that I could not go to, when you're in a big family, somebody's most important event happens every week. And I needed some space. So I was thinking, oh, I'll focus on their dreams. I'll help them with their dreams. And then that will give me permission slip not to go to every family event, etc. And I would give them quality time or quality. I wouldn't be guessing what the gifts to give them. I had their list. I knew how to support a dream. That's how it all started, and it never stopped. It just has expanded, and now I know 50 is the right number because I've been doing it for 30 years.
Isn't it amazing when like you're kind of, I mean, this came out of you seeing this, like catastrophic, whatever the word is, catastrophic thing. And then now you're like supporting your friends and family and you're like, okay, yeah, this is going to help me get to know myself better, get to know them better. And then now you're like, okay, this is what I do. This is what I love now. And from there, I'd love to hear like how it expanded.
Well, my sisters wanted to invite their friends. My friends wanted to invite their moms because I didn't even know my mom was a person. She was just my mom. But when I found out what her dreams were, I had no idea she was a person. Like it was really expanding, right? And so I said, no, TikTok, the club is locked. I will help you create, you can be in as many circles, dream connection circles as you want, but I was working on my doctorate degree in college. And I was working and I wanted to date, like I was trying to create my own life. Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, no, TikTok, the club is locked. I will help you. And so that's what I did. I began to help them put together, the curriculum to how to start their circle, how to support their circle. I would do basically the first 3 meetings of those circles and then I'm out, right? Like, because my intention was just to help them move their circles along. Now, before the internet, because I didn't do any of this, me and technology, Stacey. So like, um, one time my friends and I, we like mapped out how many circles started, or how many we helped start. It was over 800 circles that we helped start because
Wow.
once you do it, right, and anyway, blah, blah, blah. I've never stopped. People want more and more and more of it. And I just kept practicing and doing it. And then no matter what company I would go into, I would begin to do these circles without them even knowing I was doing the circles. I was getting the dreams of the employees and the dreams of the business people, and figuring out how to fuel, how to motivate. The, I was often a leader in the companies that I would show up at. And so I would find out what the um, all spectrums of the business, what their intentions outside living intentions, dreams outside work were, and what their dreams inside work were, right? And then I would begin to help those teams build the support the dreams of the employees as well as the company. And that's how,
Mm.
and so that's what I do.
I love that. So good. So now we'll kind of talk about it's funny, I'm thinking as I'm sitting here, I'm like, it's so funny. This episode is actually fueling both of our dreams because you want to be an author and I want to be an author. And we're like literally creating this co-authored book with the people that got that bonus in the wealth experiment. And I'm like, isn't that fun? So we're like birthing this whole thing to get this dream together. And you guys are a part of it. So thanks for listening. So I remember the story of how you joined Do the Thing and you were fueling someone else's dreams. And I'd love you to share that because now we'll get into like what happened during that time. And then we're going to connect it all back to dreamlifting.
Yes, yes. Well, it starts with dreamlifting. I sometimes it's hard to put dreamlifting into words that somebody who has no idea what it is to explain it. It's intangible, so
Yeah.
it struggles. One of my friends, Lisa, was trying to help me with language for a website. And so she went out and she's great at tech. So she's out there, she's searching, and she finds you. She finds a find the voice challenge. And so it's just an ad, but the language goes, this is the closest thing I can find, Mare, that it doesn't really explain what you do, but it's the closest thing. Will you take a look at it? And so I look at it and I'm like, wait a minute, this says find your voice. Well, on Lisa's list of 50 dreams was to find her voice. What she wanted was to be able to say the things that she wanted to say in the moments that she wanted to say them without all the judgment dragon rumbles of after, oh, I should have said this or I wish I would have said that. I'm like, we have to do this. It says find your voice. It's on your list. That's dreamlifting, right? It's so it's in my mind. I know what's on her list, right? Because that's what happens when you're in circles with people. You know what their dreams are. So she was like, okay, but all I did, like I did not know how to post in Facebook. I didn't know any Facebook stuff when I did this. I specifically went in to support Lisa. So I went in, I figured out how to post on Facebook. So I only answered the questions in horse mode and held her accountable for her to do her videos and because she was much more advanced than me, like, and she did them all, because I would do the horse mode one and then hold her accountable. I had no intention of doing anything more, but then you didn't feel good at the end of this 17-day challenge, and so you didn't have the runway to pitch your wealth experiment up leveled thing. So what you did, and I don't even know if it's true or not, it could have been that you just made it up, but the way I know you now, it probably was real. You probably
It
didn't
was
feel good. And so
100%
this was
true.
just what else is possible way to put it
Yeah.
out there. And you gave us a week free in the wealth experiment. And I thought, oh, Catherine needs this. So I thought we would just play together for a week in your free wealth experiment taste, right? It was a
Yeah.
taste. And then what I made up is that then Lisa and I could help bring Catherine's dream to the next level because we would have that shared language of
Uh,
the
oh, tell
find your
people that
voice.
don't know Catherine, just share who she is and what she does.
Um,
Yeah.
Catherine started a nonprofit called Restoration Colorado with the intention of supporting first responders, their well-being, because her husband was killed by three robbery suspects fleeing the police after they robbed a store and they killed her husband. Um, and she had no idea who the first responders were or what first responders did until she was in this unfortunate situation. And as a thank you, she bought a 40-acre ranch specifically for the first responders in her community to have a place where they could be safe and get rest so that they would be available for the rest of the community as healthy as possible.
Yeah.
She was built that was in motion, right?
Mhm.
And that's why I thought that the wealth experiment would be really good for her,
Yeah.
right? And so, but what happened is she signed up. She was only on one call, and then she signs up for the high ticket thing. And then she got buyer's remorse, and I'm like, dang it. I'm a dreamlifter. I'm the one that invited her into this because I know it's going to support her dream. Now I have to sign up in order to hold her accountable.
Yeah.
Like I was holding Lisa accountable by signing up for the Find Your Voice. I was not interested in Find Your Voice. I was interested in supporting Lisa's dream. Now I have to choose. I didn't have to. I chose the wealth experiment with the intention of supporting Catherine and making sure she didn't run away. I felt it was really important for her to see the wealth experiment through.
Yeah.
I really had the vision that it would fuel her dream.
And for those of you listening, the wealth experiment was basically my ultimate do the thing experiment where I had been studying kind of like what got people into action, what got them stuck. And I was like, I found the answer and we're going to like experiment and see if it works, which was exciting because it now has birthed the program that's now automated, which is now called the My People Party Bootcamp, but because it worked.
It
It
works.
worked.
It
Yeah.
really, really, yes, it really, really works. And
Yeah.
part of the wealth experiment, you invited that cohort, that group, or whatever, I thought it was a requirement that we created our own challenge. I didn't know it was optional, right? And so I created the Dream Nudge Challenge from being in the wealth experiment. It's based off of your formula, but with my genius, which
Yeah.
is dreamlifting. And so and that's still going. And I have dreamlifting office hours every week, every Tuesday.
Yeah, and let's talk about the Dreamlifting office hours. So, was that something that was created from, because I know you were doing workshops before. Is it the same format or is it a different format?
No, it's the same format that I've been doing for 30 years. It's just in it's a bite size piece. So, what would happen in sorry, so if you were in a dream connection circle or accelerator, so you're with a specific group of people, right?
Hmm.
And you bring your list of 50 and we all get copies of it. So we're all supporting those. We would meet anytime we would meet, then we would bring an update of our list for each person in there. And then we would read our list and we would ask for support, right? We would say, you have to give three supports in the real circle of it. You give three ways to support you. So this is a mini version.
Hmm.
The Dreamlifting office hours is a mini version. And what that means is that you bring one dream, you say your dream out loud, often to strangers, and then you say one way we can support you in the next 7 days. So what I'm teaching people is get clear on your dream, ask for support for your dream, be open to actually receive the support, and then give to others. Repeat. That's the whole formula.
I love that. And for anyone listening, so basically, one of the things that is now the wealth experiment is this my people party system, where we're teaching people how to host these parties that are created from the people in the room, but there's like a specific format and a structure that does it. And that's one of the things I love doing is outsourcing, like finding people that are already doing it in a different way and bringing them in. Like we were talking to Deb earlier, that was something which was fun. And then others are getting birthed from inside of it, which is really exciting. So the other thing I was excited to talk to you about was the other thing that was birthed inside the wealth experiment was me uncovering the secret to helping people get out of their comfort zone. Like literally, I still like joke with my boyfriend sometimes, and I'm like, how is everyone not freaking out? Like I literally am like the scientist, that has spent 5 years like studying the comfort zone, to try to figure out how people can take action and like what gets them stuck. I'm watching them do these dares and the videos and the posts and going, I'm stuck here. I don't know what to do there. And then they stop and I'm like, well, how do I get them to move? And then I'm creating something to help them to move. And I'm like, how are more people not excited about this? To me, it's like the coolest invention on the planet. And you got to see it birth like real time, which for those of you that have not seen my comfort circle framework, it's so fun. And Mare was a part of that because what she mentioned earlier was the horse. And, Mare, do you want to kind of talk about your kind of like your thoughts of what the horse is?
Yeah, for me, the horse mode is when the person has the thoughts inside their own mind, but they're not ready to share them in writing or in out loud. The horse mode is just where you're being with your thoughts, and you're not ready to share with anyone else.
Yeah, it's so good. And I got an email yesterday from someone you're supporting in your cohort, and she said, oh, I think you got it too. Yeah, she said, I know the name Mare means beloved, and I can't help but see how fun it would be to tie Mare, aka adult female horse, to horse mode in some fun way. The universe loves synergy, and there's no coincidences. Mare helps with horse mode. So just saying, isn't that so fun?
I love the horse mode. I'm the most comfortable in the horse mode. Yes, and that yes, that just filled my heart up. Um, in my opinion, each human starts new adventures in the horse mode, meaning you're with your thoughts or
Yeah.
your feelings, and then you expand out, and that's part of your comfort circles. And your comfort circles give a language to the experience of expanding in in your own human experience, interacting with the outer world. So I love your comfort circles, and I absolutely think that everybody starts something new in the horse mode. That's where you start.
Yeah, I love that. And it's funny because a lot of times you say you're horse mode, but you are also global reach mode too, right? But it's like you're right, but we start back at the horse. And that's why we have like find your voice at every circle, because every level we grow, we have to tap back in to who we are, what we're doing, what our dreams are. And I saw you do that just so beautifully, like right before this podcast interview with somebody else that we were helping, asking her what her dreams are, which got us to tap even deeper into what she wants to do in the world. But like one of the things that's really cool, like in Do the Thing, is once you've created a challenge, built from the framework using your messaging, now you get to deliver it to different groups and audiences based on what they need. And whether it's the challenge or just the my people party, which is the Dreamlifting office hours, you're able to do that too. And now other people are getting to see it. And so it's a lot of people wonder, well, who am I going to invite? Well, sometimes you don't have to invite anyone. You could just find the group or the mastermind or the community that needs what you have, because everyone's looking to bring value. And one of the fun things we got to do was we played a bunch of times with different audiences, but one of my favorite was with Dr. Alan Leica, who's the podcast host of what is his podcast? Live a Fantastic Life. And he has like 7 million podcast listeners. He invited his listeners and his group to play with Mare's challenge and her parties. And it was so fun, wasn't it?
It was great. It was really fun. Yeah, I still get all of his messages, and I listen to his podcast because yes, he's putting dreams into action, actually. You know, and so yes, you never know who you're going to meet in playing Do the Thing. You will be a better person if you play. That's, I would say you could almost, you know, write a guarantee for that. You'll be a better person.
So good. And so, what do you think? Because we're thinking this book, I still don't know what it is yet. That's why we're doing this interview because we were like excited to explore it. But I do think it has to do with like getting out of your comfort zone, right? So it's either the comfort zone or something with the My People parties. But feel free to share anything about like these comfort circles, and maybe how you have been getting out of your comfort zone, your comfort circles, by kind of like putting yourself out there more and maybe even overcoming the tech. Like that's been a comfort zone stretch for you. But whatever feels good, I'd love to hear that now.
Um, so what I know about, so I got into the Do the Thing as a dream lifter, supporting somebody else's dream, doing what I do. I'm still here because not only am I still lifting other people's dreams, my own dreams began to get lifted as well. So part of the ability to choose the wealth experiment was the bonus of the book, right? Because that's on my list, is to be a published author. So that was, I was able to use that bonus as a way to negotiate the family bank account. Because there had to be, I had to ask, and
Yeah.
basically do a business proposal of why the investment was worth it for me at the time. And at the time, it was really about supporting Catherine and making sure she didn't run away. But my own dreams, right, have been expanded back door because I was giving. It opened my receiver, and and support was pouring in, and that's what happens in all of those comfort circle levels. You get support that you're not expecting because you're looking forward, or you're looking to the right or to the left, wherever you're looking. In the Do the Thing experience, you always are giving your genius as one of the ingredients in each of the levels. And because you're contributing at each of those levels, you receive fuel for your own dreams. And so for me, that's what happened. The comfort circle is like a dream incubator, because at the horse level, I might be thinking, just getting clear of myself on what is my dream. Ooh, my dream is to not have to, actually, so also knowing my human design has helped me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a self-projecting projector, which means I need somebody to invite me to say something. I'm not just going to blab it. So you somehow picked up on that radar. And so when we're in Zooms, you ask me and then I can speak.
Mm-hmm.
The odds of me volunteering are slim because that's not how my energetics work. But once I'm invited to contribute, that releases, that allows my light to be turned on, if that makes any
It totally
sense.
does. Yeah.
Um, and that's what I'm finding in the comfort circles, is that there are invitations in each level of the comfort circle that allows people to show up as a better version of themselves, or just a tiny experiment. Just dipping my toe in, and I'm learning what I don't want to do, right? Like, it's not just about what you can do. It's also about, yeah, that doesn't work for me. That's not me. That is not me. Technology is not me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm aware that technology is a piece of what helps expand me in the comfort circles to next level, next level, next level. But I don't have to be the tech expert. I do have to show up. I do have to learn some things. I do have to push some buttons, or enroll or hire somebody else to push the buttons, right? I still want to know about it. I just don't want to be oh, I think about my car. Okay. I want to turn the key in my car. I know how to drive. I do have a driver's license. I want to turn the key in my car and safely get to wherever I want to go and safely home. I do not want to know how the engine works.
Right.
Not interested. And therefore, I take it to the dealership whenever they tell me whatever, okay, your next thing is this. I put it in the calendar, I bring them, and do I think that extra things are being done that don't need to be done to my vehicle? Yes. But I don't want to know how it works. I want a reliable transportation to safely get me to where I'm going and home. Mm-hmm. And the trade-off or the cost of that is me taking my car in to get maintained by somebody who loves engines, who loves knowing how everything works, who goes, oh, miss, this piece is, it's a little frayed or it's a little whatever, and this might be the best time to replace it. I'm like, yes, replace it, because then I get what I want, which is a safe, reliable vehicle, right? That's what happens inside your comfort circles. I find out what jazzes me, what lights me up, what turns me on, what I'm really good at in that piece. I'm curious about the next level and the next level and the next level, but I find my own comfort within the comfort circle layer where I fit and where I can expand.
Yeah, I'd love to hear too, because like some of the things that we were talking about is you have your own kind of space where you're doing, doing the work with the Dreamlifting office hours, the challenges, and things like that. And then we got to go into Dr. Alan Lyca's group to run the challenge, do the parties there. And then I had you as a virtual speaker at a Ohio event where we had like a lot of global leaders there. That's when this whole $1 billion impact movement was started. And then you came and you flew to San Diego for the $1 billion impact event, which was huge. And I don't think you had flown for a while and came there. And then at the very last night, you activated the whole, like you kind of like put a bow and like kind of like put, I don't even want to say gasoline or whatever that is on the whole $1 billion impact, because we spent like, I think 3 or 4 hours by the fire. We're all freezing cold, but we are like connected and in love. And like, that is like one of the most talked about moments of that event, was just like how close and connected, because we were getting dream lifted by you. And so you're in all these different environments. My first question is, were you nervous at all going into these different things? Like, did anything with what we had done like help by like not overthinking, not scripting, and getting more comfortable through that? Because we're talking about now this is a comfort circle where you're in the global impact space.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Because I was showing up and I was playing in the do the thing experiments, by the time and you're right, I hadn't gone anywhere since COVID. So it was a really huge deal for me to fly there. And I also got somebody else to go with me so I didn't have to travel alone, because traveling's not something that, so I figured out, because of the comfort, oh, I'm not comfortable with this. So what can I do? What can I do to that's really important for me to be there. And so what can I do to take good care of myself, my comfort zone, to get there and to get home safely. The speaking, no, I wasn't afraid at all, because you kept inviting me in Zooms and I kept showing up. When there were invitations, I would show up wherever I could show up, with the intention of being quiet and supporting. And anytime somebody asked me to play, I played. And then I ran my own challenge because of, so created, ran, had to be on videos.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. No, I was prepared. I was prepared, and I was not afraid at all, because you invite people's genius to show up. You're not asking people to be somebody they're not. You're asking people to step into their greatness safely. So no, I wasn't afraid.
And that's basically from the practice, right? Where you keep showing up
Yes.
and then you're getting you're comfortable because you don't have to talk and then you're invited to talk, then you're talking and then all of a sudden you're like, I know what to say. I just have to say what I know and do what I do. Okay, that's easy, right?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about play. And that is really how I've been showing up in since day one is I was just showing up to play with my friends,
Hmm.
to support my friend. It was just play. And you're really good at inviting people into the play. I was explaining to some of my friends, um, oh, I think it's on the podcast that will go out next week. But how I feel about playing in Do the Thing is I feel like I'm 7 years old and I'm going to your house and I'm knocking on your door and I ask if Stacy can come out to play, right?
Hmm.
And so then your mom goes and gets you or whatever. And then you go, we're gonna play astronaut today. So go home and get some things and then come back here and we'll all create astronaut outfits or whatever, right? And so I run home and I get my dad's or probably my brother's motorcycle helmet, right? Because
Yeah.
so that's gonna be my space helmet, and then I get tinfoil, and so I run back to your house, and I'm creating my outfit out of tinfoil, and you're creating yours out of I don't know, what's coming into my head is a shower curtain, and a fishbowl head, right? And that's what happens in Do the Thing is that you just go, oh, let's play this today. Let's play that today. And then people just show up with whatever they have in their home. It's like a scavenger hunt, and everybody brings the ingredients together, and then we create. We just
Yeah.
create things together.
Which is wild. It makes me think of like some people might think, oh, that's just like who has time for that or whatever it is, right? That could come up. But it's like, no, people don't understand. We're doing like significant things. Like the call we were just on was we were doing a focus group party to help someone create a $100,000 offer. And there were people in the room that had audiences for that offer and introductions that were made right then and there. And so that's what we're doing is we're playing together, we're building trust, we're building camaraderie, we're building like friendships, like real deep friendships by playing around goals. And then now we're getting to like globally impact because like there's no like, oh, who are you and what do you do? It's like, no, we know who you are because we've been playing with you.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely yes. And nothing's impossible and no one's left behind. And people, I feel like, well, for my own, I can only speak for myself. I feel like it's safe to show up as me.
Hmm.
And could I have a dream lifting conversation out in the world outside of Do the Thing? Now I think I could, but
Yeah.
before playing Do the Thing, I would have been selective about who I shared that I was a Dreamlifter with.
Hmm. So good. Okay, so let's lift our dreams right now. What is this book? So we're gonna have different people in the wealth experiment write chapters for the book. I mean, there's part of me that likes like, I mean, we did just launch the Do the Thing Playground, which we're kind of like talking about because that's what it's been the whole time, but now it's got a name and now we're putting everything inside of it, including the auction. So before we tie it, do you have an extra 15 minutes, by the way? Okay. Before we tie a bow in this, to figure out the name of the book and kind of what we're doing there, is the monetize your voice circle was like the hardest one for me to help people through, because there were so many people stuck in like what was their offer. So then I was like, well, instead of worrying about an offer, if you don't have one yet, then just use somebody else's offer. And I was helping them kind of like just teaching them about affiliate marketing. For the people that were more experienced, they pretty much got what they needed. And then they were like, great, I just launched my thing and now they're good, right? Or they have a new offer and then they were playing, but there wasn't like a continued space for them to do it. And that's where now the auctions have come in, where we're basically selling people's products and services through this auction platform. Part of the money goes back to them, part of the money goes to the charity, and then part of the money goes to the facilitation and the marketing. And so now we've really established this playground that we're like creating $1 billion of impact in, which was really birthed from everything that we did in the wealth experiment, everything that we've been doing since then, and everything that everybody in this community has been doing. And so, yeah, so now it's like, great. What is a great way that we could showcase the people that were in this, as like the kind of like the founding members or the people that helped create everything that we're doing now. Like that's what happened, right? The wealth experiment went through like the process, the method, and to help us discover the comfort circles, which then brought their genius out. Because think about it, even like people that are already on these like global stages, they're already doing TEDx talks, UN talks, on TV shows, whatever. They're helped with this methodology because they're used to having a script. They're used to knowing what they're going to say. And what Do the Thing does is we help them, like you said, become more of themselves. So like you're tapped into like the energy of the people in the room, and you actually don't need to know exactly what you're going to say. You just need to have an idea, and then it just flows out. And so that I think also helps. And that's why I think so many of the like corporate and like exited founders and people ended up joining the playground once we made the invitation, because they see that excitement of not having to be perfect, not having to look at it to look a certain way.
So ask me the question again after you said all
So
that.
the question is, what is this book? What are we doing with this book?
So when I listened to all of that and you asked me that question, I'm thinking about what would I want to read as a
Yeah, I love that.
and so I would be interested in reading about what was your experiment inside the experiment,
Oh,
right? Like, so what was your experiment? What worked, what didn't work, right? Because experiments, every iteration of an experiment doesn't necessarily work. It's data and it informs your next experiment, right? Your next choice. But we went from experiments to $1 billion impact, right? Like that's
yeah.
so from so I'm just thinking of the monetizing space in this moment, right? Like so
Yeah.
um you have and even coming off of the call we were on earlier today about creating 100K offer. Well, I only how can I bring people that I'm charging X amount of dollars to this bigger, it's an experiment. It's just an experiment, right?
Yeah.
And so it is the what anyway, that's what I would want to read. I would want to read about the contributors who are going to be playing in the chapter book. What was your experiment? What worked? What didn't work? And and then ending with what experiment are you doing next?
I
Right? Like
love this.
because it bookends each chapter and creates the thread. The thread is the experiments to $1 billion impact, right? Like so the end chapter, even if you do the beginning chapter and you do a middle chapter and you do maybe you do 3 chapters, right? Um, but the end chapter is inviting the world into being part of the generating $1 billion for charity.
Wow. I love that. This is it. This is it. So what's the name then? Do we know the name yet, or will that just come? Because at least we
I
have the
don't I don't
chapters.
I
Yeah.
don't know that I know the name yet. I
Yeah.
mean, it was like things that were coming up for me was permission to be messy, experiments that created $1 billion. I don't know, like
Yeah.
from a from a free experiment to $1 billion impact, right? Because often you have given things oh just uh here's the okay, well, you helped me create the fairy godmother coupon, right? Like so when somebody plays in the Dream Nudge challenge now, I charge them the first time, and
Yeah.
then the next time I give them the fairy godmother coupon code, right? So I think that there's a lot of ways to give back to communities as you're expanding and you're growing into your monetization. Monetization is actually a calibration.
Hmm.
So you have to if I went today from zero to charging $1 million, is Dreamlifting worth $1 million? Yes, actually, it is worth $1 million. And oh, by the way, I, in my humanness, right, might not be able to um, hold that $1 million today. It wouldn't, but I'm just making
Yeah.
the experiment that that $1 million could take me out. Um, but when I play with um, the possibilities and I start in one place and then allow myself to move into the next place and the next place and the next place, I'm calibrating. And so that's really what we're talking about is how do you calibrate your energetics to that $1 million point? And then once you're there, then you want the $1 billion point, right? Like, I mean, it's just a calibration. And so that's what we're doing. And I think that's what your experiments do. And I think that's what the comfort circle does, is it allows you to energetically calibrate so that you can move into the next spaces. And some people can go from horse mode to global impact.
Yeah.
They skip all
My
the rest of
daughter.
those
Yeah.
steps,
My daughter
right?
like
Like
went
it's
super
not,
fast. Yeah.
you don't have to do step by step, is my point.
Yeah.
Um, I think that the comfort circles that you've created give us a compass to see where we are in this particular situation.
Yeah, it's so good. And like the more we keep playing, the more we're connecting to new people and new audiences also. And then we bring them in to play with us, which is also really powerful. Like I just recently, I went to Necker Island. I think most people know, but just in case you don't, I went there and it was super fun. Part of Richard Branson's Disrupting for Good gathering. And I met like these amazing people. And one of the people I met, he owns this like, or co-owns this donor advised funds company. And I just pulled this up because I'm like, this is where we are playing right now. Is like he basically said there's an enormous amount of capital, close to a $500 billion sitting in donor advised funds. And most of it is just sitting idle or being used by traditional grants. And he said, until that money is actually given away, it has the potential to be put to work. And so he talked about recycling capital, like how do we actually like, have it be sustainable? And then he emailed me yesterday saying like, oh, I had this idea a while ago for competitive giving. See if you want to do something with it. And I'm like, well, hey, do you want to come into my Do the Thing playground? And we can like kind of see if this idea could be brought to life and see what we can do with it. And he was like, yeah, absolutely. And so like that's the level, like we are playing at all levels of these comfort circles. And that's what we get to do is we're like getting to workshop these like ideas and like see what happens. And if it gets legs, then great. If it doesn't, then we all have this great connection experience, like what just happened right before, where we're literally workshopping someone else that was inside the challenge. She gave to our community. She did this amazing My People party that we all loved. And I was like, oh my gosh, this would be so cool. Let's create your $100,000 offer. All of, and so we just don't even know what's going to happen, like you said, from one moment to the next.
Absolutely. It's just about being willing to knock on Stacy's door and go, can Stacy come out to play? And then whatever idea she has, you just go and just allow the magic to
Yeah.
happen. And that's really what happens.
Okay, so then there's one more thing I wanted to see what you thought of because, one of the ways I've been really kind of seeing what's different about what we're doing is we're meeting each other. Like we are like literally like I don't think I've been closer to people in any group than like the way that we can get through these challenges and through the My People parties because the secret to like really growing really beautiful relationships is by getting out of your comfort zone together, right? The endorphins are going, you're like going through the same journey, you feel connected. And so that's where the $1 billion impact networking came from. And what's different about that than regular networking is, who are you and what do you do? Right. And whereas $1 billion impact networking is around shared goals, which is what like the TEDx talk was and stuff. And it's being with people that have the same goal as you. So whether you want to work on your $100,000 offer, you want to do marketing, you want to dream lift, there's always a room for you. And then you're meeting people. Like even when I went into your dream lifting session, there was someone in there that I've known now for a year, and I got to know her differently because your group with that goal of dream lifting brought out a whole different side that I had not seen before. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, And so I'm just curious if you, yeah, what your thoughts are there and if that fits anywhere in this book too.
Well, it's hard for me not to have the filter of dreamlifting on everything.
Yeah.
And so I, what I find in being in your space is that people's dreams are welcomed, their ideas are welcomed, their point of view is welcomed. There's a space, a platform, a stage for them to just be in the energy with others, or actually try out uh, a, what might seem like a crazy idea, and or they can bring a point of view to uh, a cause that matters to them, and we see the world collectively together in a do the thing community. We get to see other pieces of humanity that we might not, because it's global. There are people, I talk to people from different countries almost daily now,
Yeah.
like as an example.
Hmm.
And it's interesting to hear some of their points of view of what the US looks like in this moment from
Yeah.
a faraway lens, right? Like
Yeah.
that's, I think that what Do the Thing allows is an expansive view of our own self, as well as our local community and the global community. That's what and I'm not sure that I answered your question, but
Yeah.
that's what's coming up.
Yeah, no, it's so good. Yeah, and I'm thinking as you're talking, I'm like, what would be kind of cool is, because you know how, well, you're writing a book now too. So, and I just ran a challenge with somebody, or created the challenge with somebody he helps people write books, but he doesn't just help them write books. He helped them lead them into whatever their offers are too. So they're reading the book and then they're joining the program, which is great. So I was thinking like in the book, I'm either going to be talking about the Do the Thing playground. Maybe I'll be seeding it, but then they're invited to play inside this $1 billion impact networking. And that's where I'm going to be featuring all the people in the playground who created their My People parties. And I'll be featuring all their parties inside of this $1 billion impact networking experience.
Yeah, it gets better and better and better. It's The more you know, the more you don't know. I mean, the more you know, the more you know you don't know everything, and then it allows you to go into what you don't know, and pull in ingredients and new experiences, and things expand, 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 expand. I think collectively we're setting up the fuel line for humanity's well-being.
Wow. So, with that, I am excited because I feel like we really have a good idea now of this book, and I think I was just thinking, wouldn't this be fun when the book is out? We all do a watch party and we like we listen to this episode of like where this whole experiment started, and how exciting is that? Wouldn't that be so fun?
Oh, it's the $1 billion experiment.
Oh yeah, I love that. That's it. Yep. That's so good. It's so funny because I almost called the playground that. But I felt like it didn't like but the book is perfect. That is 100% perfect for the book. I love that. Yep. So is it $1 billion experiment or is it $1 billion impact experiment? Probably just $1 billion experiment, huh? Doesn't
I think
matter.
it's the $1 billion experiment, and
Yeah.
then the last chapter is the $1 billion impact network. Like it's like it's the
Oh my
evolution. It
gosh.
started with an experiment.
Did
So
it. We did the thing, Mare. Oh my gosh. Well, please share for people that want to get connected to you and come to all your stuff where they can find you.
connectionproject360.com, and you can learn all about me.
So good. Oh, and what is your number one piece of advice for people on doing the thing?
My number one advice for people to do the thing: claim your dream.
Mm.
And the Do the Thing community will help make it come true.
Oh, So good. Oh my gosh. Well, I can't thank you enough for everything that you do on a daily basis to just support people in their dreams. And I absolutely love having you in the community. It's so cool.
Thank you. I love
Oh,
being in the community.
do you have 3 more minutes? Because I have one more question. I just realized. When you at the auction, and I don't know if I'll cut this or if it'll be a separate thing, when you actually now are like monetizing, because you're monetizing already, but like monetizing new offers and different things, like how does that feel by being able to sell your offer, at the auction, your offer at the auction, knowing it's going to charity and then it's also contributing back.
Uh, because it was so the auction has helped me. One of my dreams on my 50 list is that I'm a philanthropist. I give like Melinda French Gates, a reliable, responsible multi-billionaire. I am a philanthropist. That has been on my list for years. What happened because of the auction experience is I was able to expand that dream. That dream has legs, right? That dream has legs because I pretty much gave all my money in the auctions for the first year to whatever the charity was because that supported my dream of being a philanthropist. And the charities that you were putting up had meaning to me. I mean, the Pin Oak
Hmm.
horse one, it's a horse. Like, it doesn't even matter that it's for Children's Hospital. It had a horse in it. I had to put money in there, right? And then blah, 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 blah. So what I think is it helped me calibrate to my philanthropy dream.
Wow. It's so good.
So it was very powerful for me.
So good. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Amazing. And can't wait to continue what we're doing together. So thank you for listening and do the thing. Don't wait for opportunity. Create it. And hey guys, have you checked out my Facebook group yet? Go to dothethingcollaboration.com. And hey, I have finally committed. I have a membership. Do the Thing Playground. Check it out. Bye, everyone.